Hey, welcome everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hope you all are doing well. Hope your portfolios are doing well. That's what we're going to talk about today. Of course, I'm not giving financial advice. Don't listen to me. Right? But yeah, it looks like we're live. Good to see. We're on live on Rumble, live on the YouTube. What's up, John? Coffee and Flames. And let's see, am I live on the X? Yeah, I am on live on the X. And not only that, I've got one person watching live. So, hey, what's up to the two people that are on X right now? You can hit me up in the chat. I'll read your chat. I'll go through all the chat in the after show. That's after I get through the first part of the show. So stick around for that. But glad you all are doing well. And yeah, I guess let's get to it. Let's see. Yeah, no verified chat yet in X. But I look forward to reading that. Maybe we'll get that happening today. Hashtag Rumble Gang. That's right. We are live on Rumble. Rumble.com/coffee_nuance/live. Just bookmark it. It's the easiest place. My name's Tom Coffey at Coffee and Nuance. Today is August 5th. Oh my goodness. But today, let's talk about everything that's happening in the markets. Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. Let's talk about the economy, which right now is looking scarier than a haunted house on Halloween. Stock market tanked today. It tanked. And it wasn't a graceful dive. It was a belly flop. Investors are more jittery than a squirrel on espresso. And also thanks to the upcoming election. Cheers. So here's the rundown. Employment up. Job growth slow. Manufacturing activity shrinking faster than your savings in a Vegas account. Dow, NASDAQ, S&P 500 all dropped like a bad habit. Even the Russell 2000 couldn't escape the carnage. It fell like it tripped on its own feet. Then we got the VIX, the VIX. That's the fear index, which shot up to 55. Now, for context, and we'll talk about that in a bit, that's like going from a calm lake to a tsunami in a matter of seconds. And why all the panic? 2 words. Kamala Harris. Markets are reacting to her like she's an economic boogeyman, ready to unleash a wave of tax hikes and regulations that could strangle businesses. Investors are terrified, thinking, oh no, here comes the woman who wants to turn the economy into a giant social experiment. Now, contrast that with Donald Trump. When he was leading in the polls, markets were soaring like they just found the golden ticket. Deregulation, tax cuts, Wall Street was happier than a kid in a candy store. With Trump, the attitude was let the good times roll. But with Harris, investors are bracing for a storm. We see her policies as the financial equivalent of a root canal, no anesthesia. Higher taxes, more regulations, and not forget spending like there's no tomorrow. It's like she's throwing a party with your money and didn't even bother to invite you. So here's the market's message loud and clear. A Democratic win spells economic disaster. Investors are dumping stocks faster than you can say economic downturn. Harris's policies, they fear, could lead to a financial meltdown of epic proportions. I'm no financial guru. But if the people betting big money on the future are spooked, maybe there's something to it. The economy under Harris, the markets seem to think it will be a train wreck. So if you're feeling uneasy about your 401k, you're not alone. The markets are waving red flags like it's a bullfight. And if the bull is the economy, and they're saying Harris could be the matador ready to take it down. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, the least watched, censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. All right. Well, we do have a couple people on X. Let's see. Oh, we got some views. So, but if you're on X, drop a comment if you can. Oh, I think you have to be verified only. Let me see if I can change that. No, I guess you have to be verified to comment on X. So those are the rules. You got to have a little blue check to leave a comment. So, oh well. What are you going to do about that? Not a whole lot, I guess. So, but anyway, yeah, we're talking about this. Are you familiar with the VIX, the VIX? This is the volatility index. Okay, and it's often called the fear index, right? Do that with scare quotes, fear index. So it measures a market's expectation of volatility over the next 30 days. And so, wait, is it Wednesday? Is it Friday? No, today's Monday. Today's Monday. I know. But the VIX is a real-time market index representing the market's expectations of volatility in the S&P 500 over the next 30 days. And so it's calculated. It gets complicated. I'm not even going to pretend that I understand it totally. But the Chicago Board of Exchange uses the prices of the S&P 500 index options. Now, specifically, it looks at options with near-term expiration dates. So these are bets, I guess, options. I consider options bets, right? I mean, technically, it's an option, I guess, the option to buy or the option to sell. But option markets are bets or educated bets. So they're looking at the volatility in the next 30 days of the options that are due and what they expect for the volatility there. So the VIX, the fear index, is designed to reflect investor sentiment and market risk. So the higher the VIX, that indicates more volatility. And it's often associated with higher levels of investor fear, uncertainty. Okay, so it's mainly derived from the prices of call and put options on the big S&P 500. It usually ranges between 10 and 30 in stable markets. And it can spike a whole lot during times of market stress, shall we say, or uncertainty. Okay, so if it's under 20, everything's cool. We got stable markets. It's all good. 20 to 30, we got some moderate volatility here. Okay, and if it's over 30, oh damn, we got significant volatility. So it's at 55 today. That's not good. That's not good at all. So traders use this, and we're seeing that because there's been a big sell-offs, crypto's gone down, and all the markets have taken a big dive today. And you might be saying, Tom, you can't totally say that that's based on Kamala Harris's rise in the polls, which, yeah, that's true. I can't draw that conclusion. But they are highly correlated. And when it was expected that Trump was expected to win, volatility index, A-OK. And now, over the past days, at least they're reporting that Kamala Harris is doing better than Trump in many polls. That all of a sudden, all the markets are going crazy. Now you may say, you can't explain everything with that. There's this, everything happening in Japan, and it could be a reaction to that. Yeah, there's lots of things that play into this, but just for fun, that's the conclusion that I'm drawing. You can listen to me or not, okay? But I do believe, it's my own personal opinion, that our country's not going to do well with Democrats in charge now. That's my take. That's my take. You can agree, disagree. The markets tend to agree with me. So let's talk about, well, what can you do about it? What are, like, just to put it in perspective, like the 2008 financial crisis, okay, that peaked, the fear index peaked at 89 then. We're only at 55, so hold your horses, right? It's not so bad. And in March of 2020, when the pandemic shut down the entire world, we were at about 82 in the fear index. So, hey, we're more than halfway there. And I would attribute most of this to the fear of Democrats running the country. Yikes. That's not good. So here's some suggestions. These are just some doable tips to help you navigate economic uncertainty. And again, if you're listening to some dummy on online that can't even bother to wear a suit and tie and is just drinking out of his Don't Mess with Texas mug in a vintage Aloha shirt, you got more problems than don't take financial advice from me. But a couple things you can do: create a budget if you make enough money to actually have a budget, right? You should really work on your emergency fund, because who knows what the hell is going to happen, right? I do believe that there's going to be some crazy stuff happening probably this year. And so it might not be a bad idea to have a couple months of living expenses set aside if needed. Because if you don't have that, yikes, you're really in for some trouble. Reduce unnecessary spending. So right now, reduce all your unnecessary spending, okay? A lot of this might be dining out, subscriptions, those types of things. You need an emergency fund. You definitely need an emergency fund when the volatility is so high in the country. Pay down high interest debt if you can, such as credit cards. And then just all the standard thing. Have some cash on hand. Having cash on hand that will help you without having to sell investments during a downturn. So if you have if you have investments, but all of a sudden you need some emergency money and the markets are really down, that's not the time that you want to sell, right? So you want to have a little bit of cash on hand. Stay informed. Don't panic. Okay, that's one of the really important things to do, is just to not panic. Don't make any hasty financial decisions based on fear. In fact, we should probably not base most of our decisions on fear. Obviously, you can sometimes, right? There's a crazy person with a gun. You're scared. Running the other direction, probably a good idea. But financial decisions, don't make those based on fear. Something else you can do is you can automate some of your savings or your investing. So, for example, you can have a certain amount taken out every paycheck for savings. You could, for example, if you believe in Bitcoin, you could have a certain amount every month go to buying Bitcoin. Just do some dollar cost average buying of Bitcoin. Just have that on the side. And then that way you don't miss it. You're just doing that. And just try to be balanced, right? Try to have a balanced perspective on things. That's what I try to do. I try to have a balanced perspective. Don't get super bent out of shape on that. But I tell you, and you may say, Tom, what's happening in the markets, this is not specifically, you can't say that it's Kamala Harris. Okay. Not all of it. Hashtag not all. But it's a pretty big coincidence. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, none of this is financial advice. I just wanted to give you my take on what's happening in the market today, because a lot of the political news, I don't know, a lot of the culture war stuff, I just can't deal with. I just can't deal with. But I would like to hear your opinion on this. I'll go through all your comments in the after show. So I will be back on Wednesday. Big Idea Wednesday. See you then. Peace. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Let me put on my chat glasses here so I can read the chat. What's up, John? What's up, Doug? Hey, everybody. Joe says a lot of people about to lose their retirements. I hope not. I hope not. But you got to have a retirement to lose it. A lot of people don't even have any retirements, which makes things even scarier. You know, just imagine having zero retirement. And then you're hearing other people getting scared about them losing their retirement. And you're like, hey, what about me? I got nothing. Ooh, man. Boom, boom, boom. I hear Bitcoin is crashing. Never looked, though. Yeah, Bitcoin's down a whole bunch. So that's a lot of people at least taking, either not believing in it, taking money out for other things. Also means it could be a good buying opportunity if you're sitting on lots of extra cash, right? What's up, Rev68? Harris rise is fake news. Well, here's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's real news or not news. What matters is the perception. Okay, so the markets are reacting to the perception that Harris now has an equal chance of winning to Trump. We're still 90 days out or whatever. We're still 3 months out from the election, but this is all based on perception. It's reality doesn't really matter. Right? It's all perception. So yeah, let's see what else is here. Harris' rise is only because she is replacing someone as bad as Biden. Biden donations from big money donors were down 75%. Activists hated him for Israel support, and even the media had turned. Yes, very true, Joe. There was a bit of a squeeze to force out Joe. It's what it appears to be if you read the Cy Hirsch piece on Obama and Pelosi, kind of behind the scenes, what they were doing to force Joe out. I do think the Israel support is going to be very interesting. I expect Kamala's position to change and be a bit more pro-Israel, although she has been pro-Israel, but less critical of Israel. And I think we'll be seeing that. Of course, we would only see that if Kamala Harris was doing some interviews. And what's it been? 2 weeks now? She hasn't done a single interview? Is that crazy? You're running for president? You don't do a single interview? Wow, interesting. We have an election tomorrow here in Missouri. Anybody else? Well, good luck with that, Doug. We had ours. I don't even remember when ours was. Have gold on hand. Well, the thing with gold, kind of tough to exchange gold in an emergency, right? That makes things difficult. You got a gold coin. Well, it's hard to buy a tank of gas with gold or whatever. But cash on hand is emergency only. It will only lose value every year. That is true. Cash does lose value every single day. That's what inflation is. However, having some in your pocket, some at your house, is an important thing to do. If all the banks go down or something like that, the networks go down, the internet goes down, it's good to have something just in case. Now, I'm not saying a lot. You don't need a lot, but better to have some that you don't use than to, what's the expression? Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, right? So I, like the majority of people, have hedged my bet against inflation by investing heavily in lots of debt. You got this. Actually, now is the time to have a lot of debt. I agree. If you can get assets with debt and you're able to always cover the payments, then that's a good move, right? What you don't want to do is have debts on assets and you're not able to make the payments and then you lose the asset. That's not a good thing. So I've heard we will have enforced crypto by the end of the year, that it will become the MOB system. I don't know about enforced crypto, but I do believe that there will be some kind of crypto, some kind of government crypto. Now, Trump has pledged that there will be no, oh my goodness, my brain has just frozen. Has that ever happened to you? Central bank digital currency. That's what he is not in support of a central bank digital currency. I am not either. That is a total disaster waiting to happen. But I do believe that there will be more crypto in the future. There may be some tied to the government, perhaps. So, for example, what if the IRS decided to take tax payments in Bitcoin, right? That would be something that the U.S. could do. And thereby making sure that Bitcoin would then have sustained value, because everyone's got to pay taxes. So that is something like the glasses. Yeah, these glasses, had I to do it over again, I would have got 2 pairs. These are computer glasses, so they're mid-range, and my computer screen is just beyond my arm's reach, although I think it's a 27-inch screen here that I'm looking at. But without the glasses, I really can't. It's hard for me to read it. So these glasses are mid-range, and when I was getting them, they said, "Oh, we're having this special deal. You can get bifocals and have your reading glasses on the bottom half," which I did. I thought, oh, that'll be cool. That way I can use them for reading glasses and for computer glasses. The problem is when I'm doing things on the computer and then I just glance down at the keyboard, I can't see anything. So I have to turn my head down if I want to see the keyboard or whatever I'm looking down. It takes some getting used to. I'm still not there yet. Doug says, I have cash on hand. I'm good for a while. Me too. I'm good for a while. And I do think that it is important. And you know what? It's when you are a little bit more prepared, you feel more confident, you feel less anxiety because you are prepared. If you have, for example, a month's worth of firewood, so that if the electricity goes down, I, I don't know what these little flies are in my studio. Sorry for the loud clap. But you just feel better. There is a weight lifted off your shoulder if you are prepared, if you have some supplies in your pantry. Now, obviously, you don't want that to be too much because a lot of that stuff goes bad, right? But it is good to have some. It is best to be a little bit prepared. Good time to buy Bitcoin while it's down. Yeah, and it would have been good to buy it a year ago, and it would have been really good to buy it 2 years ago, et cetera, et cetera. I've heard that Iran has threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz if the U.S. helps Israel. It may be hard to buy a tank of gas at all. Again, having options is what you need to look for. But yes, I don't know. Thank you for the CBDC comment, Rev. Yeah, I was trying to remember that. Sometimes we just forget things. And so for that, when I'm doing this show and I forget something like that, it makes me a little bit more sympathetic to, say, politicians or people on TV when they can't remember something. Because we all do that. Some of us more than others. As far as I know, all the major banks have already adopted blockchain technologies on the back end to facilitate transfers between each other. I will say yes and no to that. Yes. I was thinking the same thing, Lucid. So, okay. To think I almost bought a Bitcoin when it was 36K. Glad I hesitated. Yeah. Well, I think we're at about 50 right now. Natasha says, I have a bicycle and good walking shoes. Those are some options. Indeed, those are options. So I guess today's live thing didn't draw in the people on Rumble that I'm hoping to do. You know what? I got to share. I had meant to do some revamping of the channel over the weekend, and I ended up spending time just working on music. It was calling to me more, and doing some spring cleaning. I know I'm a little late, but I've been doing some spring cleaning. So I hope to get to that too. I've thought about buying Bitcoin, never followed through yet. Well, if you are interested in such, I think I should make a video about how one can do that, and just some basics about it. But obviously, there's people that can better explain it than me. So I got to figure out where I can do that, if I need to do that somewhere else. Or maybe just do a walkthrough explanation. It's interesting. I go to Bitcoin meetups, and there's a beginning, once a month they do like a beginning presentation. And the problem is all these presentations are done by people that really understand it. And often I think that the best way to explain something is when you're not an expert. And if it doesn't come to you easily, sometimes those people may do a better job at explaining things. Yeah. It's kind of like the paradox of the person that was the straight A student in the subject. They don't understand what it's like to just not get it. And often those people don't make the best teachers. Anyway, Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, anyway, didn't look like we get any verified people over in the chat on X, but maybe someday. And I would say get an X account. I really do find that it's a great way to learn about things and to see different sides of what's going on. If you've been hesitant, get an X account. I encourage you to do that. Also, get an account on Rumble. I'd love to see you over there too. Yes, Joe says the best way to learn something is to teach it. I do agree with that, and so I will work on seeing if I can put together something to explain some of this a little more. Yeah, but anyway, hey, I've got an idea for Wednesday, and I'll just pitch it real quick. I'm not going to explain it, but people that you can talk to and they're reasonable about like 95% of things, but there's that one topic that they just get totally emotional about and they can't talk about it rationally. Some people that's Trump, some people that might be abortion, some people that might be Bitcoin, who knows, whatever. But there's that one topic that they just like, they can't talk about it. Maybe it's the cops, who knows. But there's that one topic that, boy, they can't talk about. And I was trying to come up with a name for that to discuss some things further. And my friend Josh suggested a sacred cow. And I like that. But I'm still trying to come up with a better name for that. So just on that, if you think of what you think would be a good descriptor, a good name for those topics that people just can't talk about because they get too emotional, too irrational. Shoot me a message, leave it in this video, shoot me a message on X, because I think that's what I want to talk about coming up on Wednesday. Perhaps, if not this Wednesday, the following Wednesday. Natasha says, I need a block of instruction on how to use X. Well, that might also be a good video that I could do. So thank you for that idea. Anyway, Lucid says, I tried to leave a message on X today. I guess it didn't go through. Yeah, apparently on X, on the live videos, you need to be verified to leave a message. Verification means you pay them $8 a month. I do that because it allows me to live stream on X as well. And also, I do want to support X in some way because I believe that the fact checking on X is phenomenal. And it really is a good thing for many ideas. You can get news on X that is censored elsewhere. Rumble is also good for a lot of topics, but it might be hard to find on Rumble. X, a lot of topics are really easy to get to. So anyway, I see your message there, Natasha. I get it. I get it indeed. I'll think on it. Thanks, John, for thinking about it. Yeah, trigger topics. Something like that. But we gotta let's brainstorm. Let's brainstorm an idea for what to call those things. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. I'll be back on Wednesday with a big idea. Until then, peace.